Welcome back to another Millennial in Debt video. Long time no see. If you are new here, hit that subscription button below, turn on the notification bell so you get that every time I upload a video. All right, future millionaires, we're going to jump right into it. The big R word. Everybody's talking about it. Everyone's talking about recession. Everywhere we go, recession. And we still want to be future millionaires, so we still are going to have to invest. So we're going to talk about the 5 best investments for you to make in 2023 that are recession-proof in order to protect your funds. This video is going to be broken up into 3 sections. We're going to be talking about should you be investing during a recession, how to invest in a recession, and the 5 best investments for 2023. So let's get right into it. Let's not waste any more of your time. The first thing when you want to talk about investing, especially in a volatile market, especially in a recession, is whether or not you should be investing. There are 3 things that I want you to do, or 3 questions that I want you to ask yourself if you are thinking about should I be investing. The first question is, do you have an emergency savings fund? I know we are tired at nauseum. People are talking about emergency savings funds, and that is because cash is still king. Cash is still king. So you want to make sure you have 3 to 6 months worth of expenses. The closer you get to 6 months, the better. But 3 is not too shabby, if I do say so myself, especially during these times. So do you have an emergency savings fund? The next thing you want to keep in mind when you're trying to figure out should you be investing is what is this money going to be used for and how long can it stay in my portfolio? The rule of thumb is you want to make sure your investments are in your portfolio for at least 7 years. So that means that this money that I'm putting into this investment account, can I let it grow for the next 7 years and let it do what the market is going to do with that money? If the answer is yes, then you want to make sure that you are investing. The third thing that you want to ask yourself, or you want to consider if you're trying to figure out if you should be investing in 2023 or during a recession at all, is am I going to be able to ignore the noise? During a recession, during stock market volatility, it gets very noisy, because the market is going to be moving. It's going to be up one day, down one day. It's going to be doing a lot of things. That means you should not be checking your portfolio every single day. I know people who check their portfolio multiple times a day. You do not want to do that. If you know you have the capacity to dollar cost average, which we're going to talk about in 2 seconds, invest every single day, or invest every week, or invest every month, whatever it is, without checking your portfolio all the time consistently and driving yourself mad. We don't want to do that. Then you should be investing. Now, we're going to do a little bit of an update. If you haven't seen my initial video on how to invest during a recession, you want to click that link right up top here. And if you have, we're going to just give a couple of updates, give a couple of reminders, so we're on the right track. When we want to think about how we should be investing, a lot of the tips that I'm going to tell you right now are things you should be doing even when we're not in a recession. That first thing, dollar cost averaging. If you're new here, or if you're just unfamiliar with the term, dollar cost averaging means you're going to invest, no matter what the market is doing, a specific amount of money over a certain amount of time. So for example, if you are investing through your 401k, you are dollar cost averaging, because every single time you get a paycheck, a certain amount of money is being invested into the market. If you are investing in an IRA and you invest once a month, you are dollar cost averaging. So this is really crucial and really important to any investment strategy that you're doing, whether we're in a recession or not, because this really helps you to kind of prevent a ton of loss, right? So you don't know how to time the market. Nobody does, FYI. As long as you're continuously investing, that means sometimes you're going to get really good stock prices, sometimes you're not, but the average of your investments is going to be worth it, is going to be positive, is going to be green. The second really important, crucial thing when we're talking about an investment strategy during the downward economy, during a recession, is you want to make sure that you are investing in defensive stocks. Defensive stocks, I know it sounds kind of defensive. Defensive stocks are stocks that typically do well during a recession, or at least stay steady. They're not, going through 90% stock decline. These stocks are also the stocks that are a lot less sexy when we're having an economic boom, right? During an economic boom, people are investing in tech, people are investing in consumer discretionary, because people have a lot more money to spend. Whereas when it's a recession, we all have to wipe our ass. We all need toilet paper. We all need to eat. We all need to drink. We all need to make sure that we have our utilities, our heat, our electric. So these defensive stocks, these consumer staples, are what tend to do really well, or what tend to at least hold steady in the market during a recession. So if your portfolio is a little bit light on defensive stocks, and you want to continue to invest during the recession, you want to continue to invest during a time where it's really uncertain economically, then you're going to want to look into defensive stocks. So that's going to be, again, consumer staples and utilities. So you want to think electric, you want to think toilet paper, you want to think food, you want to think healthcare. These are things that we are going to have to do, what we're going to have to spend money on, no matter what the economy is doing. We got to eat. We got to eat. So let's get right into the 5 best investments for you to make in 2023 in order to do well, or at least stay steady in the recession. The recession that we're not currently in, but it's looming. It's looming. And of course, I gotta give the spiel. This is for educational purposes only. This is not investment advice. And past performance is not indicative of future returns. Whew. Now that we've got all that legal mumbo jumbo out of the way, let's jump right into number 1. The first really crucial, important investment that you want to make is cash. I know people say, well, hello, cash is not going to keep up with inflation. Of course, I understand. I know I talk money every day, but you definitely want to invest in having a cash reserve. What does that look like? It's going to look different for different people. What I suggest, like I said with the emergency savings, you want to have a cash reserve, whether you're keeping in a money market account or you're keeping in a high yield savings. The more cash you have, the safer it's going to be, right? The safety net you're building for yourself in case job loss occurs, in case other things happen, because life does not stop lifing no matter what the market is doing, no matter what the economy is doing. So you definitely want to make sure you have a steady safety net, a cash reserve before you move into your next step. The second wise investment that you want to make during a recession, especially in 2023, is bonds. You probably have heard people talking all over the internet about I-bonds and their historically high interest rate that just ended in October. It doesn't stay that high, y'all, but we know the vibes. Bonds are considered a fixed investment, and that is because you purchase a bond today at X amount interest rate, and you hold on to that interest rate, and you hold on to that bond for the next 30 years. So it is, again, another type of safety net during a lot of volatility, during a lot of economic chaos. Is that the word? That's the word that I'm using. So bonds would be a really great investment. A third investment that you want to consider making during the recession or during the looming recession, because I know people are like, we're not in a recession yet. We're not in a recession. Oh, okay, we're not, but the economy it's looking likely. It's looking likely. Okay, so the third investment is ETFs and index funds. I talk about these babies all the time, and that is because they help you with diversification, and they also will make sure that you're kind of not feeling the impact of picking stocks individually, right? So if you own Tesla and Tesla tanks, you're losing a lot more money than if you own an index fund or an ETF that's tracking the S&P 500, because not every stock in the S&P 500 is tanking, right? So we're thinking long-term, we're thinking diversification, and it's a lot safer than trying to pick out individual stocks. I don't know about you, but my nerves just can't take all of that movement with one particular company. And I'm sure Tesla wasn't the right company to pick with all the Twitter chaos, but I digress. The fourth investment that you want to consider making during a recession is you want to look into dividend stocks. You can also look into dividend index funds and ETFs. I will list a couple of those on the side for you so you can research and make decisions for yourself. But you really want to look into dividend stocks or dividend index funds and ETFs. Why? Because even if a stock is tanking, if they have traditionally done pretty well with giving dividends that increase year after year, month after month, whatever it is, then it's likely, again, past performance, not indicative of future returns, it is likely that they are going to continue to give dividends. The real bonus, what I love about dividends, is you can reinvest them, right? So yes, of course, you can pull your dividends as a source of income. People talk about dividend income all the time, but the wiser, smarter, future millionaire decision to make is to reinvest the dividends that you are earning so that you are continuing to earn more money, continuing to increase your capital gain. The fifth and final, and certainly pretty important investment that you want to consider making in 2023 to protect yourself against a potential recession are defensive stocks, aka non-cyclical stocks. The opposite would be cyclical stocks or consumer discretionary funds. So when we think about the market, you want to think about it in 11 sectors. There are certain sectors that do really well when the economy is booming, and there are certain sectors that do really well when the economy is not doing so great. So you want to look into defensive stocks, so things in healthcare, things in food, right? Utilities, because like I mentioned a little earlier, these are things people need no matter what the market is doing, no matter what the economy is doing. So if you're looking into, let's say, Con Ed, right? So that's like the energy utility service out in New York. Con Ed is either going to do better, do well, or it's going to stay where it's at, whereas opposed to a company that caters to maybe vacations or caters to more service industry, food, restaurant industry kind of thing, it's not going to be as appealing during this time because people are going to try to save money. People aren't going to be trying to go on vacation as much. People aren't going to be trying to go out to eat. People aren't going to be getting massages or buying cars. They're going to be a lot more frugal with how they spend their money. And so you're going to be a lot wiser because you are a future millionaire. I guarantee. Well, I hope. Anyway, you want to make the wise decision to put your money where people are going to need these items so you will continue to see growth despite what the economy is doing. Thank you for sticking with me. I was about to bust out into Jay-Z, but thank you for sticking with me, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.